NGO Mercy Ships called me and to ask me if I was interested to do something about their work. So I checked their website and I said, oh, that looks very interesting. So I talked to the persons and then we discussed about what we could do. And then I said, let's do something different. Don't do the reportage thing where you see doctors and nurses, people helping, but let's do something about the people, about the patients, and try maybe to photograph them in a way, in a respectful way, even if they have sometimes terrible things, medical problems and diseases. But I wanted to photograph them as a human being, as something with a lot of dignity. And sometimes it was very difficult because it's very complex sometimes if you see somebody really ill or with a disease that looks sometimes very terrible. But still, I wanted to photograph them like human beings. And the idea was also to go back and maybe to look for them after the operation. And not only to see the difference between how they look physical about it, but what changes the operation or the help their life. Because, for instance, sometimes a stupid example is, or a small example is something like cataract. For some people, like I met people who was taxi driver, or truck drivers, they couldn't drive anymore. And they were like only 50 years old. So they couldn't drive because it was dangerous, they couldn't see anymore. And after a surgery of 2 minutes, one eye, they could see again, and they can go on working again. So that means it's not only helping somebody personal, but you also helping like a society, because people have to do something in their life and have to make money to support their family. So it's more than just aesthetic and just saving lives, but it's also bring people back to the community and to work and meanwhile because people work and can support their family, have also back the respect from other people, but also for themselves. There was one time it was more difficult because he had like a very terrible tumor. His name is called Tierno, and he had like I don't know how you call it in English, but like a little towel so I photographed him. But in a way I was also curious about what was behind this, what he really had, because he was hiding it. So, and then I was doubting, can I ask this question? And I decided to ask it, and he thought about it, and then he said, okay, well, he couldn't really talk, but he said, okay, let's do it. The only thing he wanted that I was like a little bit alone with him. There was no other people like watching it, and then he showed me that, and I was like, okay, that was a very hard moment for me, but it was hard, and I photographed him then, and that was really tough, and it was brave to allow me to photograph him, because he knows how he looked, and he knows how terrible it was. It was not a beautiful sight, but I thought he was a very strong man, and I met him again and I photographed him again, and he still have to do one operation, and my plan is to go back again when he's back home again. He just has one operation to lift up. He's already looking so different. So you see again how he looked before. You can already imagine that, because the first picture, the first time I met him, it was like, it was a human being, but you couldn't look. You always saw it. So that's also what the doctors tell me. Most people would never survive this, but he was so strong and so willing to survive, and and it looks like he's doing well now. You forget how dangerous things are. Like I photographed somebody with a tumor on his head, and it was like a beautiful young boy, and it was always like he looked cool. It was like he had his hair is like it was like almost a rockabilly thing in a way. So if you look at him, it's Diallo, the person, but you don't know what inside. It can be dangerous if it's growing. So you want to know who people are, what happened with them, what are the consequences of their disease or their problem, and also it makes, and that's the second important thing, it makes also easier for me to photograph them, because you know them a little bit more, and sometimes you think different way because you know the story behind the person. And for me, it was really necessary to do it. And sometimes you hear sad stories, but on the other hand, you feel also people with power, and that's also, like, as a Western photographer, then you think, oh, we so lucky bastards that we have this luxury and they have only that, and they still like fight for it, and yeah, have this hope, and yeah, hopefully they will return to their lives and will be better, and also not better in medical term, but also maybe, yeah, grateful.